In this video, I am going to be walking you through a multi-camera podcast setup in terms of everything that we've got going on here. This is more as a progress update for myself and a reminder for myself of how we got here, as well as an opportunity to share learnings with anybody that might be interested in putting something like this together. I'm generally really proud of what we got going on here. So this here is a multi-cam podcast set designed for a set of 2 people. We can always add more people. Generally, and when it comes to a podcast, the number one thing that you're looking for is microphones. So we've got Shure SM7DB microphones that are connected to Tascam DR XLR Tascam recorders. So no wires. Now, one could always connect XLR wires to a recorder. I might consider that in the future, but right now, these have been great. 24-bit audio that also record a lower decibel version too, just in case things get loud, connected to a stand. So this captures really, really good audio. Now, in addition to that, one of the things I do is I hook up each of the instructors with a Hollyland lapel mic, which clips on just like this. It's very low profile, and it sounds really good too. But the key reason for that is the Hollylands are being fed into the multi-camera switcher that you see over here. So the multi-camera switcher, essentially, here's a Hollyland. What I would do is I would take the receiver and I would plug it into here, and then I will get access. And if you just want to show them exactly what they're looking at here, this here is an Atomos Sumo 19-inch monitor. I think it's 19-inch. This here is a ATEM Mini Extreme ISO. One of the things that we do is not only are we live switching, but we're also recording the master file that is being recorded, that in terms of the live switch that we're doing. So this way, when a podcast is done, we have a live edited version. Now that's given that we stuck to the plan and there are no deviations from the plan itself. And we have our model back there giving me a thumbs up, because in the first podcast we did, we chose not to stick to the plan. And so that's going to add editing time to fix certain things. But generally the idea is you stick to the plan, stick to the, not script, but you have an intro, you do your conversation, you have your outro, you cut, you're done, and you can distribute or review and make any adjustments that needed. This is one of the reasons, this I think right here is what makes this whole system work. Now, the components that feed into this are, now generally you take HDMI signals that go into it, but in order to make this whole thing work, we've got Hollyland wireless video transmitter system in place. Each camera here is connected to a Hollyland HDMI wireless transmitter, which goes into the receiver, which is being fed into the HDMI switcher. So this way we have minimization of cables. Now, one of the things to help achieve that is also this whole, like for example, this whole tripod setup, V-mount battery powering the entire thing, Atomos monitor. I forgot which brand. This is a Shinobi 2 with the Hollyland. These are connected together. One thing to note though, this is a mistake that I kind of made. We got these monitors for the studio. I didn't realize that they have a input, but they don't have a pass through. Now the solution, the problem with not having a pass through is that signal goes in, there's nowhere else for it to go. And so one of the things I got was an HDMI splitter. So connected to the camera, now I have 2 signals going out. One's going to the transmitter, the other is going to the monitor. So the transmitter is going to the switcher, but you can also see what's happening too. And we've got that same setup across the board on all Sony FX cameras. So we've got a FX 3, 30, 30, and 2. Now, you might be wondering why not just maintain the same camera. If I bought all the cameras at the same time, then yes, I would have bought the same camera. Initially, we got the FX30s, then we got the FX3, and then we needed one more, and the FX2 came out, and this was perfect. And just for the record, if I was starting this setup today and I had no cameras, I would go all of them FX2. So that's how good that camera is. It gives you crop mode and full frame mode at the same time, and it's a really good camera. But that's just besides the point. Now, we've got the cameras, we've got the monitors, we've got the HDMI lenses. Now, when it comes to lensing, to achieve this look that is a bit bookalicious, if that is the term, getting bright lenses. So right here, I have a 35mm f1.2, 50mm f1.2, 50mm f1.2, and then a 70 to 200 f2.8 on the FX3 itself. Now, this here is our wide master shot, which basically looks like this, the wide shot that we have. And then we have a over-the-shoulder shot on one, and then we have an over-the-shoulder shot on the other side. Those are both 50mm on crop sensors, so it's really giving you a field of view of about 85 mil. Again, this is the wide shot, and then we have generally a close-up for one of our, either the guests or the host, depending on who's talking. Outside of all that, really the first thing that comes into the setup of this entire space, before the cameras, before the switchers, actually the set. And part of the set design, before even the table, is what's gonna be in our background. Now, this has been a work in progress. Initially, the idea was a black drop, but then we wanted something to contrast. So we got these dividers, essentially the dividers that you have on the wall over there, similar to that. But we just kind of stuck it over here. And we've got, and I'll show you in the back in a second what that looks like. We got some Moroccan style teardrop light lanterns, some display thing, a few plants. The key thing here though is lighting them up. So we have lights splashing the plants from the bottom. We got some hanging lights over here with some ghetto wire hook. So this way you can't really see what's happening. And even this is really thin. These are battery operated, so I can turn these on and off as needed. As such, boom, now it's off. I'll be turning that one off later. And one thing that's also good to have is a V-flat. So this V-flat here is there, but it kind of gives you this concrete style look, especially with the tape lines, with the whole, I'm gonna call this a sunbeam circle thing. I saw this on Amazon. I'm like, oh, these look nice with the whole orange light and glow. So we got two of these, one on each side. We centered the guest inside the circle to kind of give them that sort of spotlight. Then we have these golden reflectors here, which are reflecting the light that comes from over there up top. So we have these lights which are intended to be a background separator from the black drop itself, with a honeycomb 1, honeycomb 2, one for each guest. And at the same time, we have this as a background separator edge light and a soft fill for the opposite instructor or guest or whoever we have. And then we've got these golden reflectors to serve as a soft fill from underneath. And having a white table surface is also helpful in filling in some of those shadows from underneath. So all of that comes into play. One of the things I would advise is if you've got tripods or anything that's going to be on a stand, as much as you can, put them on wheels. And so we have Sure tripods here with a Sure VHS-10 head and a Sure wheels, I think these are Sure wheels. But anyway, Sure system works, easily take on, take off. The lights, like for example, we've got these lights. Instead of using the sandbags, what I've got is counterweights. These are the counterweights that you would put on a microphone stand. As such, having these for even the regular stands is very, very helpful. I think you'll see it even over here. And yeah, I think that's, in terms of this setup. Just want to show you a quick thing on the, oh, careful now, quick thing behind the scenes. So one of the important things about developing and putting together a set is your ability to walk around it and walk through it. So that's one of the things that we accomplished over here. It's a little tight, but it can be done. This is the thing I was talking about, is essentially a V-flat board that's bouncing a light right off the backdrop. And so that's how we're getting the whole thing lit up. And this is the other side of that. This is a sound blanket that is also serving as a bounce light. Now, one of the key final things, this might be a little bit of getting a little fancy, but we have it. We have these Aperture 600Xs with a spotlight. We ended up purchasing one of these because we were actually in the process of an event and we needed to rent a spotlight, and the cost of renting it was more expensive than actually buying our own. So we ended up buying the spotlights, but we use them in the studio. And so we're using that to essentially shine a bounce off the top over there and serve as a soft fill for whoever's going to be sitting in parallel. So see a little bit of zigzag happening. Same thing on this side, another 600x aperture with the spotlight, 36 degrees, bouncing off the thing over there. And that's it. That's a quick walkthrough of the studio. Hope you guys found benefit in that. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. I'll see you soon.